Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today I'm making a video on how giving charity change your life. So for the viewers that know me, obviously you know I'm Muslim, alhamdulillah. If there's any non-Muslims listening in here, then feel free to listen because it is beneficial in a way as well. So I'll start from the Islamic perspective as well. So Prophet Muhammad always recommended giving charity, and these are also like verses in the Quran as well, alhamdulillah, that says if you give Allah alone, Allah will multiply your loan many times and always give in the way of Allah. And honestly, see if you do give sadaqah. And what I'm not talking about if you don't have money. I'm not talking about if you don't have money to give. I'm talking about what is if you have excess money, right, and then you need for the sake of Allah to help the poor. Then honestly, this can really like change your life in a sense, you know. Because alhamdulillah, I met a brother once a few years ago, and he said to me, "Lad, brother, you should start giving charity more." And I went, "Why? Does all your money problems disappear?" And I was like, "Really?" So I was like, "Chalo, I'll give it a shot, inshallah." Right, so I started doing as he said. I was just giving £5, £10, but suddenly opportunities were coming out of nowhere. Do you know what I mean? See, debt that I was in, that was getting cleared. Like alhamdulillah, I was getting people that own money to say to us, "All right, I've cleared your debt. Don't worry about it." You know what I mean? And then like it was out of the blue, that sort of stuff, you know, as well. Alhamdulillah, there's also been other situations in my life in the last few years which have been very, very, very enlightening in the sense that I work in a hospital, alhamdulillah, right, and basically what happened was so I work at a hospital, alhamdulillah, and what happened was whenever I was getting my monthly wage, right, I would get a lot of money, alhamdulillah, and I'd always sit there and think, well, I need this, I need that, do you know what I mean? I need to pay this. But my first priority would be like, no, you know what? Other people need it more than me, alhamdulillah. And see when I did give that money away, I would find that within months or even weeks or even days sometimes, that money would come back to me like that. Do you know what I mean? It was just like I was just like stunned. For example, I had a choice of like either building a water pump, alhamdulillah, or like paying off some land money that I owed. And then I've been doing that for 6 months. I was like, sorry, I'll pay the land later. And then suddenly, about like 8 months later, someone came up to me that I know, and they was like, "All right, here's a check for like this amount of money." And I was like, "What for?" Like, "Oh, I just sold my land, so you can have it." Alhamdulillah, that was from Allah. Do you know what I mean? So if you spend in the way of Allah, Allah will provide for you. You know what I mean? There's also been other stuff as well, like if he who fears Allah and does not do haram, Allah will find a way out for him. You know, and also see if you look at the non-Muslims as well. So if you look at some of the non-Muslim people like Jeff Bezos, so Jeff Bezos of Amazon, he actually said that in 2010 he gave away half his money in charity, but then he suddenly become even more richer. Do you know what I mean? And I know that the non-Muslims as well, they have this concept of philanthropy, you know, but even people who are doing philanthropy can even say that the more they give, the more money they get, alhamdulillah. So definitely if you're suffering from financial problems as a Muslim or a non-Muslim and you've got issues, I would suggest start giving more than charity what you can afford. Now, what I don't mean now, just to clarify, I don't mean what to do as I just like start giving all your money away. You know, like obviously, take what you need, right? Take what you need for your expenses, and then whatever's left over from that. So, say for instance, right, if you've got like £500, £600 left over, right? Take like £100, 150, shove it into charity, and I mean like genuine charities as well, not these fraudulent, but people that genuinely need it, you know, and then see what happens, watch how your life changes, you know what I mean? If you can only afford what, £20, that's fine, just 20. Slowly, like I was reading up a story about Malaysia's richest businessman, and the story of him was that when he was younger, he was very poor, and the money that he got, his mum used to say to him, "Son, give half of it to charity." Then he used to argue for his mum and say, "No, no, I'll give it later." Then his mum explained to him, "No, just give it in charity." And he said that every time he would get money, he would give half of the money in charity, and then suddenly now he's sitting as Malaysia's richest businessman. You know, so that's his story. And alhamdulillah, like genuinely, I've seen it with my own eyes. You know, the more you give, the more life gets better for you, you know, and even inside you feel much better, you feel much happier, you know, because think about it, if there's people who don't have anything and are struggling in their life, and they've got very little and you give to them, you get that satisfying feeling as well, and you never know that even a small amount could change someone's life, you know. So definitely if you have the ability to give charity, then give it. And even if you don't want to give money, do you know what I mean, even if you give food, or like giving someone food, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be money as well, even if just like giving someone a date or like giving someone something to eat, that can do a lot of wonder in your life, isn't it? Like if you do good, you'll get good eventually. So that's just the topic I want to touch on today about how giving charity changed your life and how it changed my life. And definitely for those of you who are struggling with financial problems and those of you who are wanting to do some good, think about doing this, and test it out. And I can guarantee you, years down the line, even months, sometimes even days, you'll be like, wow, I didn't actually expect this. But give it with the right intention as well. Do you know what I mean? Like you want to help people as well. But never ever worry about giving money in charity or giving food in charity. Good always comes back to you in the end. That's the way I've seen it all over the years. Thanks very much for tuning into my video today. Thank you. Bye bye.